Team, hello and welcome back to another show from the Double Pivot. Opposite me is someone who's scary, but there's nothing scary this time about his team. It's FPL Discomfort Kieran. Kieran, how are you doing? I would say, in fact, I'll say you're looking more dashingly handsome than normal. How are you doing?
I'm going to have to take it off because this is a budget mask that it was incredibly hard to breathe in. And that joking thing I did with you beforehand of vaping's definitely ruined my eyesight now. We've also got the cat that's broken into the room. So I'm good, but I think we're going to have to get the cat out of the room, unfortunately, so that he doesn't become the star of the show. How about yourself, Shane? How have you been?
Yeah, it's been good, mate. It's been good. Like we said to you just before we came on, we actually, I've been prepping stuff. I've been improving the channel, ladies and gents. So if there's anything you see that you like, obviously not the faces, but anything else that you see that we've improved, do let me know because I've put a lot of effort in there. Apart from that, mate, it's just the standard work with a dash of FPL and getting ready for Halloween, mate. I'm a big fan of Halloween. Do you like Halloween? Are you quite a trick or treater? What do you do on Halloween? You look like someone who just. Do you know what? Kieran looks like the kind of person who would go out his way to turn the lights off so people didn't come to his house for trick or treating on Halloween. Is that correct?
No, so for some reason it used to always be a battle, right? Halloween or Christmas. You had to pick your side, and Elf is probably the greatest film ever made, let alone the greatest Christmas film. So I'm a Christmas guy.
True.
And for a number of years, that made me anti-Halloween. Like growing up as a kid, my parents didn't help it. I said this on FPL Juice's show last week when they were talking about trick or treaters. But I lived in a cul-de-sac, and my parents used to go round. There were only about 6 or 7 houses on our street. They would go round beforehand and give the sweets to the neighbours to give to us. So we'd go and knock on doors to receive sweets that my parents had given them to give to us, which is just mad. But they didn't like this whole idea of begging. So, occasionally I'd sneak up to a house around the corner and get something that you're not meant to get, be a little bit dangerous and get sweet from someone else.
Ooh.
As I got older and got into my films, like horror is one of my favourite genres. I love horror movies. I love a little bit of, ghosts could be kind of interesting if they were real. And that whole
he's an unbeliever, chat. He's an unbeliever.
I didn't say I'm a non-believer. I just thought we shouldn't go this far off topic this early into the show.
Yeah. We'll keep on the road. Yeah, this is an FPL show. But the first time.
In short, since going to America, I began to really appreciate Halloween, and the house is decorated with Halloween stuff, and they'll stay up until probably December, to be honest with you, because once I put something up, I'm then like, it can stay up for a while. So yeah, I won't be home unfortunately on Friday for the trick or treaters. Oh no, what a shame! No, I'm
shocked.
I'm going to the cinema for a secret screening.
Well, that's it. Well, FPL Malcolm
horror movie.
Well, actually, yeah. In fact, yeah. Actually, you've been just watching a bit of the movies. Now, FPL Malcolm says, "Put it back on, Kieran." Malcolm, it is on. Unfortunately, it is on. You just don't notice. And he also says he buys all the sweets, but he shuts the blinds and eats them all. Yes, 100%.
Right. So one year, I thought I'm going to be so prepared for trick or treaters, and I bought, when you can buy loads of Haribo off of Amazon, like you get a box of all of the little 10p bags that aren't 10p anymore, right? So I got a box of those that came with, I don't know, about 50 bags. I went, perfect. This is great for the trick or treaters, right? I forgot that I live in a flat where there was only one child in the 6 apartments who
here we go.
Didn't come and knock. So, genuinely, I thought people would knock on the outside, right? And someone might buzz them in, and I'm one of the first houses. So I thought, just to get them out, I can give some sweets. No one came. So Mackham's not far from the truth. Last time I bought loads of sweets, I did end up consuming them over the next 3 or 4 months.
You make me sick. And hey, with that, this is an FPL show, so we do have a good FPL show lined up for you. Obviously, listen, I probably should open with the fact that Kieran's the top content creator, top ranked content creator, 38k. So we'll come on to that first. We'll delve into the teams, the results from the weekend. We'll delve into 3 in particular games, how we got on, me versus Kieran in terms of predictions. A few little special bits. We've got Veterans Vision and we've got a Discomfort Zone. And then we'll finish with our teams for game week 10. So let's get it on, Kieran. Just while Geddy's put on, thank you very much, Geddy. There is some football coming on. It's on right now, actually. Some big games. And especially Liverpool bottling it, which we will come on to shortly. But yeah, first thing I want to say is if you've not already subscribed to Gianni, which I'm sure you are, because if you're watching this show, you've definitely subscribed to Gianni. Kieran is on that show. You can't see his face on there because he's blurred out. But like I said, he is the highest ranked content creator. And if you want to go there and see, see how he done it, I mean, we'll tell you shortly. But go over there. It's a really good video done with Gianni. I think it was today, wasn't it, Kieran? Or was it yesterday?
It was done yesterday, yeah. Which look, I watched loads of his videos.
How was that? Was
where
it
he had...
exciting?
It was good, yeah. Like I was going to say, I've watched videos with people like Chai on there when, I'll be honest, they all had significantly more higher ranks than I have at the moment at far later on in the season. But I think at the moment, the fact that other people making content haven't had the best of starts to the season, let's say, means that I think you and I going around and shouting about it. But I think you in particular shouting about it at every opportunity definitely helps. And knowing Gianni well, invited me on. I was off work, so it lined up and really good to have a chat with him.
Yeah, that's it. And obviously, we passed on a congratulations, had a little baby boy, so congratulations there. But Kieran, we're 7 minutes in. We probably should get to some FPL. People might not be watching anymore. Right, we're going to start with your team, the top ranked content creator and all that. Tell us about your team for that you had for game week 9, mate. Still a decent score.
Do you know it's a decent overall score. 53 points is decent considering there is no Rodon in there, there's no Van der Ven, there's no Mbumo. So fortunate to get a good score, and that was helped by Eza, coming in clutch for both of us with his 11-pointer. Even though it was a decent week, I can't help but be a bit disappointed because, a couple of other great shows have a few leagues, and the FPL Juice Boys had a league. And I've gone on to lose the month by a point, which is frustrating because I was having a toss-up beforehand of whether or not I'd start Lacroix or Lacroix or Mukiele.
Yep.
And my Arsenal bias made me start Mukiele. I also was thinking for a while, do I just blow my bench boost to secure, because their prize for coming top in the month is a signed football shirt. So I thought, when do you get the opportunity playing FPL to secure a signed football shirt? And again, if I'd done that, it wouldn't have been the best bench boost, but I would have won it. So yeah, a little bit of disappointment on that, but that would have been bad for the long term. But another show that I know we both enjoy, Above Average, they have beat the Baker each month. And I was one of the people who finished above him, and my name came out on the wheel, so I'm going to be getting a lovely bottle of whiskey.
Well, you just winning everything, Kieran. You just win everything. I do want to say on there, I didn't change your ranks. One thing, the only thing that was probably the most important thing that I forgot, and I didn't change your ranks, the same as mine. But you're what? What are you? 38k?
Oh, I sent this to you earlier. I don't even know. 37,600 and
37,600. 64. 46.
Yeah.
37,646. Good rank, mate.
But I will say ranks are so close together right now, right? I'm sure everyone saw it. Anyone that was checking their rank before the Spurs game was having a great time, and then Van der Ven crucified lots of people, and that's kind of just shows it, right? Well, 20 points is a lot of positions.
It is, but do you know what? This is why, and I think I said to you last season, for the majority of it, I didn't overly check my rank too much. I looked at the arrows, and I said to you, I didn't check for a while. I don't check over the weekend at all because it only brings pain, mate. That's literally all it brings, because if you have a good Friday, you're going straight on there, and the way FPL is, you probably wouldn't have that good a Saturday or Sunday, or the same. You have a really good Saturday, Sunday might claw you back. So I don't look over the weekend at all. It just brings me pain, mate. But no, it's good, mate. It's good. Like you're saying, okay, the points are close, but it's a good rank to be in this position, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? You want to be more up there than behind and kind of trying to force those decisions. No, it was good score, mate. Good score. Big Eze came in, mate, so that was probably a bit more exciting as well, obviously, for your team.
The other thing I would say, I've heard some people say, and I know we'll be talking more about it, but it's interesting, right? This is the only week I think possibly the only week I played a back three, which, I'm a 4 or a 5 at the back. And it seems as if the topic this week by most of the content out there is a back 5 now the way, is 4-5-1, all of these kind of things, right? That you and I covered off pretty early on.
Yeah.
I heard someone say, oh, it is, but it's boring, isn't it? Do you know what? I'll tell you something. Watching the final 5 to 10 minutes of the Bournemouth game, hoping they could keep a clean sheet was anything but boring. Like there is something behind it when you're watching double defense going, come on, 5 more minutes, hold on. There is excitement behind that. It's not all about the glamour of the goal. Sometimes there is a bit of fun of sitting there hoping your team clings onto that clean sheet for a final 5 minutes.
It was a good game. It was a good game. Like you're saying, okay, boring, but do you know what it is? People say boring when they're behind in rank. Like I've said that before as well. I just one of those things that, all right, at the time might seem a bit of a boring pick, but I don't think it really is, to be honest. Nah, it was a very banging score, is what it is. But I'm sure you already know that, mate. Right, we're coming to mine. I've actually just updated. So I will. I'll bring your actual real rank on now. Anyway, the rank on the screen is mine. Just in the top million, which is good. So I had to run a 5 green arrows. I had that red one because I didn't play Munoz. What was I thinking? I don't know. But you were in my head, Kieran. The LaCroix was in my head and I played him over Munoz. But those 9 points, they would have been the difference between a green arrow. But nonetheless, it was a good week. It wasn't too bad until the big Pedro Porro stepped up, mate. He stepped up and ripped it up for me. Good backline, you know, every single one, my backline returned. Petrovic, Porro, Senesi, and Gabriel. Obviously, Porro with 2 bonus points, assist and a clean sheet was really good to see. And then Ezzy done the business. Okay, I'm a bit unfortunate with the rest. Do you know what? I'm at this point in the season, Kieran, is you know when your slight differentials don't really work, but the majority of your team rescue it and you're still above average. I feel I'm there. You know, like sometimes you're like, oh, I need that differential to bang, and they don't. You're like, right, I'm behind. Whereas now, even though they still, you know, your Gordons, the Reinders, which we all know about, even the Gakpo, they're not, and I'm still above the average, which is good. I feel in a good groove, mate. You know, a good position. Gordon was
you've had some great ranks recently as well. Like you've jumped up significantly, right? And I think again, it just shows, like to your point, you don't need your attackers to be banging all the time. You don't need all the differentials. Like every team is struggling at the moment. There isn't anyone consistent really, except for Haaland from an attacking perspective. So when you do get someone like Ez getting an 11-pointer, you're laughing, right?
Exactly. So yeah, I'm good. Yeah, in a good position, mate. Not as good as you, but we'll have to check if we're the top ranked duo content, mate. I think we might be. I think we might be up there. But even though in the meantime you're the top ranked content creator, and yeah, I'm going to keep saying it. There's a few people more in the chat. Gary's in from Podcast to watch his stream earlier. It was really good. If you're not, go back and go back and watch it. He said it's good to see you on Gianni's channel, mate. Saka goal as well from Gary. Here we go. Saka the weekend. We'll come on and talk about Arsenal in a minute. Right, let's talk about the games of the weekend. I've picked 3 out, mate. I'm gonna, you know, as the number 1 dog on the channel, mate. Is there any games? What games stood out to you? I've got 3 that I'm going to pick up, but is there any that stood out to you? They're probably going to correlate.
What stood out? I guess we're gonna have to talk about Brentford, aren't we? So I guess that's one of them.
That is, that's on there.
Man United game stands out.
Yeah.
And for me, one that stands out is Villa City.
What more? City couldn't find the breakthrough, or Villa kind of recovering, keeping clean sheet and actually scoring for once?
And Villa starting to go on a good run of fixtures as well, right? Like,
you're correct.
From, if I'm not mistaken, I saw a stat saying that like 5 weeks ago, Villa had won no games, and Liverpool had lost no games. I think 4 weeks ago, and now Villa have won 4 games, and Liverpool have lost 4 games. And interestingly, Liverpool's only win amongst their 4 losses was in the Champions League, and Villa's only defeat amongst their 4 wins was in the Champions League.
There you go.
So
there you go. I think.
Yeah, I guess it just stood out, right? Like I said, if you saw this scoreline last season, you wouldn't think twice about it. You go, yeah, no, Villa getting a 1-0 win at home against City. But it feels different this year. Like, I felt as if City, and I still think they're the biggest challengers to Arsenal this season. So I was surprised to see them lose this game.
Yeah, I don't know. I think sometimes we're taking a bit of City grant, but they've not been that good though. Do you know what I mean? They haven't. And apart from Haaland, I think it was on Match of the Day, but it was a screenshot of who scored bar Haaland, and it was like what, three midfielders and a defender or something. They all got like one goal apiece. I think it was one who got two. Apart from that, it was bad. They're relying on one individual, and that's, I think I've been saying this since the start of the season. They're finding it hard to break teams down. When before you had that De Bruyne magic who unlocked it. They don't have that, or even Foden when he was on a really really good season. They don't have that. The one big mistake. You're right. What was he doing? Thinking, I tell you what, I'll play a very attacking or a fairly attacking midfielder in Reinders as defensive mid. Gonzalez must be sitting on the bench thinking, what am I doing here? Because he didn't even play him. And for me, I seen the lineups and I thought that's a bit of a big mistake. Listen, stuff happens in the game, and you can't pin it on that one thing. But I think Pep can get a little bit naive. I think he can, and I think that can't do that in the Prem, mate. The Prem's too good. But yeah, Villa, they might be coming into a bit of form. Listen, I still don't really like any of the players, but just now we don't, but we might in the future. Yeah, the one that stood out to me, I've picked three. One is Liverpool game, one's the Leeds game, and the other one for me was the Tottenham game. So, I mean, we'll come into the Brentford Liverpool game.
I like how we both somehow ignored Chelsea v Sunderland as well.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to pick them all out, but yeah. In fact,
can we also highlight how Maresca's using the same excuses as Slot now?
Oh, is it Maresca's? Don't play this way against us.
Yeah, no, literally it was. He's like, I watched 9 games of Sunderland and they always played with a back 4. And then I saw their team sheet and it's the first time ever they played with a back 5. So I said to the players, yeah, he was like, I said to the players, okay, I have to throw the tactics in the bin. Give me 10 minutes and we'll have new ones.
Okay, yeah, cheers for that.
I'll see if I can find the tweet to put it on screen, actually.
Yeah, we'll have to get it up. But like Malcolm says, our Chelsea assets getting sold. And before we roll into that, it kind of sets with, we're very, very quick to jump on teams that we have that preconception about. One is Spurs, which we'll come on to, like, they never keep clean sheets. Well, actually, they're pretty good at keeping clean sheets, and we maybe should have seen that for coming against Everton. Don't score too many goals. But with the Chelsea one, Sunderland have been really, really good. And something that I've written down for a while, Kieran, actually, and this is why I need to review my notes a little bit more, is Chelsea have got the youngest squad in the Premier League. I think they've got the worst discipline, or one of the worst disciplines, but more the young squad. Sometimes they're going to be a bit naive in games, and this is one where they were naive. They probably thought, Sunderland, they're coming to us. Nah. Do you know what I mean? We'll shine on the pitch. Sunderland played really, really well, mate, and it was a great game to watch. It was a great game to watch. Is that the tweet there?
There it is. I watched 9 Sunderland games before ours. They never started with a back 5, so I prepared to face back 4. Then they started a back 5 against us. In the changing room, before the players go out for a warm-up, I need to tell the players, guys, all the Sunderland preparation, put it in the rubbish, and in 10 minutes, I need to change our plan. This is difficult for the players.
I mean,
I was going to show something else, actually, because, Shane, you made a very good point about Chelsea's young team, right? Yep. So what I was going to show, and it's semi a plug for us, but another one for...
See, Kieran, you're probably impressed, mate. I've made some good points this season. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, no.
Actually, while we're on the subject, there was one individual on these screens, 50-50, who said Sunderland would stay up. Now, I don't want to say it was me, but it was me. And, hey, they're still a long season, but they're looking good. They are looking good. And I'm kind of glad. They took a risk, didn't they? They took a huge risk, spent a lot of money, got new players in. Hats off to them. Well done.
Hats off to them indeed. So, Shane, I was just going to show the show where we got inspiration for our FPL quiz, Tension. They have their new series out, and the very first episode is a football episode. So, really, really, really recommend it. It's much more extended and polished than our version. Ian is awesome, and obviously gave us permission to do ours. But yeah, I was going to say, check that out. The reason why all links together is I didn't realise how young Chelsea's squad was until it featured as a question on his show, where you had to name the 10 oldest. Squad. Yeah, but it was named the 10 oldest players at Chelsea.
Oh God! Oh,
And obviously,
Jesus.
you don't want to name the oldest player because that's only worth 1 point. You want to name the 10th oldest player.
So right in the middle, bang in the middle. I'd say
Bang in the middle, but bang in the middle at Chelsea. How old is bang in the middle at Chelsea?
probably 26, maybe somewhere.
No, it's actually about 20. It's about 22 or 23, mate.
It's probably like 19 at this rate, mate. It's outrageous.
Look, how old do you think Reece James is?
26.
Let
God,
me
26.
check.
I hope he's 26.
I think he probably is.
Liverpool
He's
got
20,
a red card, by the way. So
he's 25. Reece James is 25.
Oh, close. Jeez, he
But
looks
again,
he's got a Diego Costa face, mate. It looks like
mate,
35.
he's been around forever, right? I swear, like Reece James, he's missed Christmas for the last 6 years. How is he only 25?
Yeah, and like I was saying, maybe we should have brought it up because we keep again. There's a good preconception one there, mate. Sunderland, yeah, they're doing fairly decent, but they're a promoted side. They came up from the playoffs. They didn't even get fully, promoted up straight away. Okay, they're doing all right, but we're not going to see. Maybe we should have seen it coming a little bit. Chelsea a little bit leaky at the back. They overcommit quite often. They've got a young squad. At least a draw. Maybe not the win because they're away, but at least a draw. And I think we need to be given more credence, at least to the Sunderland fixture. It's a big thing, actually, Kieran. It's a quick little plug. But on Friday, I'll be doing the FDR with D Unit, and this is one of the things we'll be talking about. Sunderland in the FDR fixture, ticker, is still a light green fixture. It's not. It just isn't. And it takes them a while to update, or actually, they probably won't even update it. So it's something interesting that we really need to look at. There's a few more in the chat. Colm's in. Foxy's in. Any questions you got, just pop in there and we'll keep to the end. Good to see you all. But yeah, we'll pop straight back onto here, and there's your score. There it is. There's his rank for all to see. 37,000. Is that the highest you've been, by the way, Kieran?
Not ever, no.
No, I thought you'd been the highest at some point.
Yeah, but the highest I've been at this stage of the season by some distance, yeah.
So
and with chips still in hand, I think that's the shocking thing for me. Still having wildcard and bench boost.
That's it. Right, so the reason I wanted to come on to this, one, obviously Brentford beat Liverpool. I don't know if you watched the game. I watched the game. It's fantastic, mate. Really, really good game. And it didn't overly surprise me in terms of Brentford doing well. I mean, Brentford, another one that people said, I said at the start of the season, they're for relegation. They've got a set-piece coach. And obviously, until he starts coming in and seeing the squad and see what he can do with the team, you don't know how he's going to react. But as someone who poo-pooed Brentford, do you give the manager a little bit more respect? Well, I mean, listen, everyone's beaten Liverpool, so that's not a big thing. But I think people need to realise that Brentford are still a good team now. Through gritted teeth.
I wouldn't go that far. Here's a question for you: is Arne Slot a good manager?
I think he's a good manager. Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah, okay, because he's struggling this year, right? When it's his own team, right? He's struggling. Yeah. Rather than when he's inherited a really good. Okay, Brentford weren't a really good team, and he didn't inherit a really good team. He lost some of their key players, and they're performing. Yeah, no, look, he's doing a cracking job. He's doing a cracking job. Coyote throw-ins are better than corners. It's like going back to Rory Delap stage, where how long until teams are kicking the ball off for a corner against Brentford instead of giving them a throw-in. You've got Uatara, who has a 20p or 50 pence head, who can't get a single header on target. The amount of times I see him getting his head onto the ball against Liverpool, against everyone, and the ball goes nowhere near the goal, right? But he gets so much shot volume that he's looking great. Sade's coming into his own. Thiago, they've been waiting a year for, and he was the Ivan Toney replacement, and now he's fit, and he is looking sensational. Yeah, Brentford are massively surprising me.
And he's done well. And okay, listen, I know set piece coach, but he's done really, really well. And it was someone I said pre-season of, listen, I didn't think they'd do this well. I think they'd stay afloat and they'd do all right. They wouldn't go fairly near relegation zone, but to lose all those players and still play fairly decent. I think people forgot they still had quite a few players come back from injury, and there's enough leaders on that team to get a grip of that team. Do you know what I mean? But he changes formations quite often, depending who he's playing, which you think all managers do. But look at Ange and look at Amarin to a certain extent. He kind of only plays two formations. But yeah, I think we need to give him a chuck up. But the main reason I wanted to add this is because I had a look at the squad tonight, the Liverpool squad, and I'd love to know what you think, Kieran. Slot has absolutely bottled that game tonight. He's put so many youngsters on that side, and we still had a half decent team against a full strength 11. He has absolutely bottled that tonight. So he's got an out and saying, "Oh, we didn't play a full strength side." What do you think, mate? I think he has. I think he's bottled it.
Well, I think lots of teams have rotated in this game, right? Like Arsenal are heavily rotated apart from Eze for today's game. And Brighton are relatively... Saka didn't start though. Saka came off the bench just now. Eze was the only first teamer who started in this game.
Ah, nice.
So, look, did he go to the extent of playing complete children? No. But at the same time, is that a case that Arsenal will now have the squad depth that we've spoken about earlier in the season, that they can play their second team because they need minutes and they're all still of a good quality? Yeah. So I agree to an extent that he's gone severely weak. But I think to your point, there is some bailout there, right? Like you're not starting your first 11 in this game when you've got Champions League and you're behind in the league, you're on a bad run of form, etc. So you're just not doing that. If you rotate 3 or 4 of them against Palace, who have beaten you every time they played you recently, you're going to lose. So at that point, if you think you're just going to lose, then what's the point in risking any of your players?
Yeah, no, it's a good point. I just seen that lineup and I thought, do you know what? Obviously, with the run of form and everything, I was like, you've absolutely bottled it. And I mean, it's not as if they've been playing that well anyway. So you probably want to play a full strength side to get.
But then, if he plays to full strength and they lose to Palace, then that's just there's nothing to gain from beating Palace in the League Cup for the players' confidence.
No, I get you, but a big club like Liverpool, the fans. I don't think the fans will accept that tonight. Just basically floundering.
Well, I think the fans. The fans are massively divided now on Slot, and it was just seemed that way, right? Yeah. Because social media will make it sound like loads are against him, but they're just going to be the loudest. I think no matter what happened today, they would still be there. Like, I'll use Arsenal as an example. Arsenal winning the League Cup is completely worthless, right? Because people go, well, that's not a proper trophy. Arsenal need to win a proper trophy. Now, 99.9% of football fans would take that as a cup because there's only 4 cups you can really win in a season. So why would you not want to win one of them? And if you've gone for a long period of time, but there is just this whole fallacy where it's the weakest competition for an English club. It's the least important one. So winning that doesn't do anything. The only manager, Fergie used to do it all the time. Do you remember when Fergie even skipped an FA Cup game and withdrew from the FA Cup? Right?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So like, I don't think this is one of those cases, but what I do think it is in recent years, the only time we've seen a manager take it really seriously is Pep, who used it as a catalyst to get confidence to go on to win the title. I think every other manager rotates until you get to the semi-final, and then you want to win it. There's no point risking injuries when it's a busy schedule. Yeah. But then if you get to the semi-final, cool, might as well win this now.
Yeah, no, I get that. The issue, and it's completely turned on its head now because, I say what Foxy said. He said, agreed, Slot should have steadied the ship this evening, and they're at Anfield as well. So that, again, that's not going to go down well in front of the fans because they've just conceded another goal, Kieran, and then they'll get battered 3-0 at home to Palace. Now, like you're saying, obviously you don't want to put a full-strength side out, but, this is more damage that it's not helping Slot. And maybe we should have a react with our teams. I've got Gakpo. Have you got Gakpo as well? I think you do, don't you?
For now.
Yeah, I mean, again, for now, people on about moving to him. For me, I'm looking at moving away because until they get this front 4, front 5 thing sorted and shore up the defence a little bit, I'm not sure. And Gakpo's probably the best if you're going to select someone from Liverpool. He is, unless Ekitike stops up top. I think he's doing well, but that's not going to happen with Isak back. So I'm looking to move him, and it sounds like you are as well, where people are looking to jump on it. I wouldn't touch them. I really wouldn't.
It's more so the fact that I kind of... I've been listening to a lot of spaces recently, that are on X, and sometimes it's nice if I'm just walking around, have that on in the background. And people have made some very good points about Szoboszlai maybe being the best valued Liverpool asset now, because he's got 2 double-digit hauls, right? And he's good for 90 minutes. At the moment, we're seeing Gakpo getting subbed earlier. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. I still think he's a great option. Like game week 12 onwards, you probably want 2 or 3 Liverpool. And if you want 2 or 3, then he is one of them.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't want to do the hokey cokey and take someone out and put them in. Do you know what I mean? I've got to take them well. But we'll move on from that. But yeah, it's 3-0. That's. I listened to Talksport tonight. That's not going to be good for them. The next one is Spurs, and actually I was looking at this, and again it's our preconceptions. Spurs, they always concede goals. Now, okay, yeah, recently they have conceded. They had a loss and they had a 1-1 draw. But can you guess who's got the best away record in the league, Kieran? I mean, you could probably guess now.
Is it Spurs?
It is Spurs. It is Spurs. And okay, they were quite fortunate to win 3-0. It was never a 3-0 game. Obviously, Van de Ven banging two headers in, which is another point I'm going to come on to in a minute. But yeah, it flattered them, but for the most part, they did deserve the win. Clean sheet, yeah, I'd say they kind of. I mean, they've got less XG than Everton, if anything. Everton have still got 1.74, so they were fairly lucky with that. But they did control the game, and they did close it down. And again, maybe our preconceptions of Spurs concede goals, we need to let go of. Something that I've not queued up for tonight, Kieran, but we'll discuss it now, is what's your thoughts on Van de Ven? Because for me, and we always do it at some point, is we love to chase points. Now, Van de Ven just have a 23-pointer. So if you think that's going to replicate soon, you're mistaken, because it's not going to replicate soon. Okay, you might get another goal at some point, but people need to play the fixtures as well, the clean sheets as well as the attacking. And you were speaking about Gianni on his channel about it. You need to have that balance of both, don't you? That defensive and more, attacking defender. Are you looking to get Van de Ven in? Because I'm genuinely not interested. Not interested.
There might be a time during the season where I'd consider him, but when he's up against Chelsea, United, and Arsenal as his next 3 games, definitely not. Definitely not.
Exactly. That's
so, yeah, there's nothing wrong with getting players in. There does seem to be a trend, though. I don't know if you started realising it, but one of the most recommended players at the start of each game week, it's starting to trend to be one of the players who scored the points the last game week. So, like, Mbumo's the topic this week. Like, do you move from Bruno to Mbumo? Mbumo scored 2 goals. Mbumo's... Look, there's been other people out there who I think, like, Focal said it a while ago, saying that he's only behind Gakpo for non-penalty XG, and that's when he done nothing. So you can see those things. So I get it as now they're scoring when you're talking about an attacker and going, cool, now they're finally putting those chances away. I now want a piece of it. Cool, that does make sense. But for a defender who gets a haul, no. Like, hauls aren't predictable unless it's Munoz or Trent or maybe like a Timber of the world or a Hall or a Cucurella or a Gvardiol. Right? If you see Gvardiol switch back to playing left wing back and he's super attacking, then after a haul you could go, cool, I'm getting him in. But I agree with you, no. For people like Van de Ven, no thank you.
No, I know he's cheap, I get it, and people learn about value and stuff like that, but you can have the best value in the world, but one, if he doesn't play, they don't play enough minutes, or they concede and get no attacking returns, or just any returns in general, it doesn't matter how much good perceived value are, because he scored 2 goals and got 23 points a day before. Like I was saying, they've got the best away record. They've scored 12 and conceded 3 in 5 games. So again, home and away is always, as ever, is important. But again, before you look at the players you want to bring in, see who's away, see who's at home, and see what the record's like.
Okay, but just have a quick look at that, right? I'll give them credit. First away game of the season was Man City, right? Tottenham have a ridiculously good record at Man City.
Yeah.
But their other away games were West Ham, Brighton, where they drew 2-2, Leeds, and Everton.
Yeah.
So like West Ham, Leeds, Everton, Brighton.
Good teams. Good teams. As what's his name says on Talksport, good team, good team.
So I think at this stage of the season, like again, for me, 5 games just is not a sample size because there is so much variation about the quality of the opposition you faced. So like 5 away games is nothing to read into. It is interesting because last year they were shocking away from home and good at home, and this year they're shocking at home and good away from home.
Yeah, that's it. Like Jamie O'Hara says, that's his name. Good teams, good teams. But yeah, you have to taper the fixtures with who they've played so far, and I think that's why it's so important. But it's definitely one to have a look at, like, you know, and try and get rid of those preconceptions because we all do it, even if you support a club or don't. The other one, actually, talking about chasing points, Kieran, is Leeds West Ham. Now, okay, listen, Leeds won. Good luck to them, yeah? People brought Road in, and people like freaking Asia, like, in a good way. Harry brought Road on in, which, I mean, listen, everything, he does it quite often. But some people played him, some people benched him, some people brought him in. But for the most part, I think he was about 7% owned. He wasn't overly effective. In terms of point chasing, mate, like Van de Ven, same with Rodon. People are racing to get him in. If you think he's going to replicate that again, you're mistaken. Have a look at Leeds' fixtures for the next 7 and tell me when you think, 1, you'd play him, and then 2, he's going to get a clean sheet. I don't really think of maybe apart from the Forest game, which I still think Forest will score, I can't see him getting a clean sheet in the next 7, mate. So what's the point of bringing in a cheap midfield defender who isn't going to get you any points? And all we're doing is chasing the points. And chasing the points. Much like Van de Ven, are you looking at getting Rodon on, Kieran? I very much doubt it.
No, and like, look, Rodon's got 2 goals this season, which is awesome, but I don't think he's not a prolific goal scorer for Leeds. He is going to be decent for DEFCON, and if you're on a wild card, I think it's fine going with him or Hartman or Mukiele. I think they're all much of a likeness. I think he absolutely made sense for this fixture. And again, I bought in Mukiele for Van de Ven basically for 1 game was the main goal. And if you could target certain fixtures, it makes sense. I know that I think you do one and done as well, don't you? Charlie Meerkat's on X's.
2. Oh, yeah, sorry, one and done. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, and on that one, he put a comment on there saying if you captained this centre-back against West Ham every game this season, if you pick that as your player, you'd be on 89 points, 30 above the person who is in first place. So made perfect sense to bring him in and play him for this game. Next good game will be up against, maybe a Brentford, maybe a Forest, but Forest under Nuno probably improves slightly from those kind of things. Not from Nuno, Dyche probably improves slightly under those things.
That's the thing. I don't. If you're bringing him in, I get it's cheap. But for me, I think Mukiele, the Sunderland lads, even Achumpong, if he's playing really well at centre back. He's head and shoulders above Rodon. I mean, listen, he scored against West Ham. Everyone scores at corners from West Ham. I mean, ask Arsenal. They scored about 12 that day. So, and I'm looking at their results, mate. And the only clean sheet they've kept is Newcastle on the opening day. The rest, they've not kept a clean sheet. And then the fixtures, let me tell you the fixtures. Brighton away, Forest away, Villa at home, Man City away, Chelsea at home, Liverpool at home, and Brentford away. For me, and then Palace. I wouldn't play him in any, to be honest. If you've got him, obviously I wouldn't take him out. I would play him. But yeah, again, just be careful before we start doing the point chasing. We'll do it at some point, but just try and hold off. Just quick shout out to Liam, top guys in the chat, mate. Hope you're well, mate. Good. Thanks for joining. And yeah, like Kieran says, remember to like the stream and join us. Subscribe. We're almost up to. In fact, actually, I tell you, we're over 700, Kieran. Do you know what I mean? We're in dreamland. I mean, you're literally carrying the show, but hey, you know what I mean? Your back must be sore. But yeah, that's the 3 that we come up with. Right, okay, now it's FPL's Discomfort. It's your zone, mate. Take the floor. It's on you, pal.
Oh, my zone. Jeez, here we go. What did I want to talk about today? It really was just to drive home, I guess, a couple of things overall, right? Do not, on this, Shane, do not make me big screen, okay? Or you and I will have problems. I will mute myself. I will come off camera. I will, and maybe if I put the mask on, it would work. Right, so I mentioned this, and actually I will start by sharing my screen because it was FPL Crisis Ash who brought my attention to this. But so far this season, there have been 121. Ignore the word bonus at the top of here. 121 players have got double-digit returns. Of them, 16 have come from strikers. 4 of those were Haaland, and 2 of them were Welbeck. So you can look down this list here, right? And you can kind of assume who those players were. João Pedro for Chelsea, etc. Mateta for Palace. But they're being massively outscored by midfielders and defenders. Now, at the moment, Shane, I know you were saying a few weeks ago, and I've heard other people saying it as well, about how Crystal Palace are going to start to tire. Why are we on this? Crystal Palace are going to start to tire, and people are looking at getting their attackers in, and I'm looking at getting their attackers in as well. And I'm looking at deviating from my structure to actually go into strikers, even though I don't think they've got that Hall potential. So that made me look a little bit deeper into the strikers. And, we're seeing lots of information out there at the moment about Mateta's goals, Mateta's XG. Mateta, according to Who Scored, has 7 goals, 7.59 XG. Now, interestingly, where can I go to this? Because I made a few notes of this. He has had 29 shots and 16 on target. Now, in the Bournemouth game, he scored 3 of those goals out of his 5. He had 3.67 XG out of his 7 point something. He had 11 shots and he had 5 on target. So he had 60% of his goals, 47% of his XG, 38% of his shots, and the only game he got bonus points in. So he got 3 bonus points in that game. Outside of that game, he has returned 0 bonus points. Now, by comparison, someone like I'm looking at similar price points. I'm looking at a West Ham team. Someone like a Voltemada, the West Ham, he was 4th on bonus, but he scored in the loss against Arsenal and he got bonus. He got full bonus against Wolves. He got 2 bonus in a loss against Brighton. So it's kind of interesting, right? Strikers not only aren't getting double-digit returns, but some strikers, like a Mateta, need to score 3 goals to get it. So really, for me, it's one of those things of, yes, we're going to be tempted by a good run of fixtures. Yes, there will be strikers who will score goals. That is their job. Mateta will score goals. Voltemada will score goals. But the question you've got to ask yourself when looking at the Hall potential and bonus points being a part of that is, do you really want to be spending your money still on a striker that's not Haaland for a prolonged period of time? Or do you want to be in a position where you can really target them, or maybe really just bounce around that second striker spot and not be afraid to drop down and have those 2 4.5, 4.3 million strikers?
I like it, mate. I like it. And you know what? It's something that I think we've, obviously more yourself because you're a higher rank, but I feel like we've been on the wave so far. Like, people are looking to bring players in we already have. Like you're saying, you've been playing 5 at the back for quite a while now, and you're looking to maybe deviate slightly from that. And we're on the crest of the wave. Do you know what I mean? Whereas some people are a little bit behind in that thinking, and that's another good thing that I think is working well for our season, mate, which is good. It's all roses when it's going well, isn't it? But when it's not, the head goes down. But no, I think you're quite right. And I mean, I've had Richarlison for a while, but I've not really played him either, Kieran. You know what I mean? With Haaland sitting there, the majority of people have him. I'm going to downgrade Richarlison, but it's just a who. That is the question. But no, I like it.
You and I are trapped, aren't we? I think like the obvious players to go to, just based on form at the moment, price point, and the fact that is he undroppable, is Krupi Jr. But we're both doubled up on Bournemouth defence and sitting with some. Well, you're not sitting with Semenyo, so you do have a route to Krupi Jr., mate, and just giving yourself money.
Well, do you know what? I maybe should have brought this up, but yeah, that kind of went under the radar when people were bringing Semenyo in left, right, and centre. I looked at the fixtures and thought, do you know what? I looked at his data and thought, don't get me wrong, he's been fantastic. He can't sustain that. You know, if he was going to sustain that, he would have been the top FPL player of all time, which just wasn't going to happen. They had to plateau a little bit. So yeah, I don't think I got enough kudos for that, Kieran. So I'll take that. I mean, he'll probably absolutely demolish City the weekend, but
One thing I have to do, Shane, is I realised that I didn't. I was logged into our account. Everyone do follow FPL Crisis on X. I have now followed him because there was a big follow button there saying it. So apologies for showing that we weren't following you at the time of sharing your content, Ash. But again, thank you for putting this awesome stuff out.
And he actually, do you know what? We're symbiotic here, Kieran. He was helping me earlier. I was looking at some charts in Fantasy Football Scout, and he's the master charter, so he helped me out with that. So again, Ash, thanks very much for that. Okay, so from the discomfort zone to veterans vision, and I've got a good one tonight, Kieran. You're going to be impressed, mate. You're going to be very.
I'm looking forward to
impressed.
having to stay silent again, so I'll take myself off so I can bite my tongue till after you're finished.
Oh, merci. Right, okay. By the way, that's not my picture. Tonight, I want to talk on one subject. It's about a team that I've actually just won tonight away at Anfield, and it's probably not the talk that most people are thinking. Now, yeah, I've got the stat up here. It's a double entendre, Broken Arrow, fantastic film by the way. But are we too high on the Eagles? Are they soaring too high, and will they be brought back down to earth soon? I'm going to get on that bandwagon early and say yes. And this is the reason why. Listen, it's not just me going out and being, do you know what? Nah, at some point they're going to lose a little bit of form. This is why. So what I did is I went on Fantasy Football Scout. Again, we're not sponsored by them, but it's in the comments. This is one of the charts in the members area we used that Ash helped me out to put it together. So thanks very much. And what I did on this, Kieran, is I looked at the top 40 players that played the most minutes. And for the most part, they've played 9 games, which is roughly 810 minutes. Obviously, you see there Mitchell Munoz, 1 minute less, and Salah, 8 minutes less. But for the most part, they've played 9 games. Now, what I noticed in there is Palace have got a lot of players in there. In fact, they've got double any other European or any other team that's in Europe. So you can see on the screen there, I've highlighted Palace have got 6, and the next nearest is Liverpool with 3, and Forest have also got 3, but they're not too much in our thinking just now. Now, listen, they're doing fantastic. They battered Liverpool, or a 60% Liverpool, doesn't really matter. They still battered them 3-0 away at Anfield. They're doing fantastic. But the squad's very, very, very thin. Of those 6 you can see on the screen tonight, 4 started. And Chris Richards didn't start because he's either injured or something else has happened. He's not even in the squad. So they probably would have had 5. My issue with this is this can't sustain, much like Semenyo that I took out early, got in the bandwagon, took him out. The numbers weren't sustainable. I don't think the eye test was essentially sustainable. I think the same is going to happen with Palace. Now, obviously, listen, the Premier League's a very, very hard competition. So they're in the Cup tonight against Liverpool. At the weekend, it doesn't let up. They've got Brentford at home. Okay, some people might say, that's a bit of an easy fixture. It's not. Brentford are no mugs. They've been playing well, and Palace have got at home, so they're going to want to perform. After that, they've then got another home game 5 days later against Alkmaar. Okay, again, you could say Alkmaar aren't the best team. No, they're not. But when Palace are losing to teams like Larnaca at home, they cannot afford to rest their main players. And again, these 6 players that are on the chart, they can't afford to rest them, so they will play again. After that is another home game against Brighton. Again, Brighton, okay, maybe not the best away record. They still score goals, and if you're not on it, they are going to find it tough and difficult. So basically, Kieran, if we go back and look at this, we have to take in consideration that teams throughout the season, they'll have peaks and they'll have troughs. Liverpool, they've had their peak, they're now plateaued, and they're firmly in that trough. And honestly, I think the same is going to happen with Palace. It wasn't tonight. It might not be this weekend, but it's definitely coming soon. With the up, always comes the down. Kieran. come back. And what do you think on that? And talk to me about the graphics.
Shane.
Jeez,
Yeah, you know, graphics were excellent. Your points were excellent, but you then went, and I'm going to replay this to you, right? You went, and with the up to this graphic comes the down, and then went to our YouTube channel. Like, what the are you doing, mate? Jeez, it was so good.
It was good. But yeah, so, I mean, that was my point. I was having a little look at the tables, Kieran, and they are very useful. I'm sure most people use them, if you don't go over there and use them, really good. But I was quite surprised to see that. I didn't think that. And this is what comes into we've been saying.
I was happy to see Munoz getting his rest in there. So that was good to see that he did get a minute rest. So,
yeah, his minute. Yeah.
Lovely to see that.
That's the thing, though, Kieran. Do you know what I mean? And I mean, I think to a certain point you'd agree with that because, especially Munoz, the guy's running about up and down for 90 minutes. It's just not sustainable, is
it? It shouldn't be, but there are some freaks of nature that exist. You know, I find it weird that he wasn't subbed off when Palace were 3-0 up against 10 men. That's a little bit weird today. But
yeah,
I don't know.
I think the fact
there's so much confidence running through the Palace team at the moment, right? Like they've won the FA Cup, they've won the Community Shield, they've got off to a great start of the season, and I think you're right, but I think their stumble comes during the Christmas period. So I think the games will get them through it at the moment. The fact that they do have easy fixtures, or not easy, let's say good, favourable fixtures at the moment. They won't be battering teams, but I think they will stumble through the next few fixtures and then start to take that nosedive. So I think we've got another 3 or 4 games in them before we start seeing that impact. Personally,
no,
I did see though that their next midweek off is like the 27th of December or something after the international break. So I think that's the key thing. This international break saves them, but after that international break, having no midweeks until Christmas. That will kill them.
Yeah, and that's why we work together well, Kieran. Because sometimes I'm a little behind the clouds. What about this idea? And then you bring me halfway down on that decision. But no, I think you're right. Like I'm saying, it might not be. It wasn't tonight against Liverpool. It probably won't be the weekend at Brentford, but it will be soon. Like you're saying, I have to factor in the international break, but it will be at some point. You know, they can't keep. Well, I mean. Can they keep going wrong? Maybe they can.
Yeah, you normally get away with it, like because this isn't a team that went through European football last year. They should be able to get through with it at the start of the season, and then
remember
just
they lost to
Larnaca
Larnaca there. They lost to Larnaca. I mean, if you've seen the expected goals now, it was like unbelievable. I'm surprised they did, but that still puts pressure on them to then not rest those players, you know. But CH said a good graphic. Thanks very much, CH. I appreciate that. Vibe. Sorry, I was going to say Kieran. Liam says. A few of the guys are asking if FPL Discomfort has a YouTube and how many of you there are. There's only 2. There's only 2 in the double pivot, baby. There's no more. No, but he's got an X channel as well. So go and follow him. FPL Discomfort. Top 38k, top content creator. Get in there.
So Malcolm thinks that Palace will be fine for this run and then we'll wildcard him out. Geddy said that, as Roy Keane said, it's better playing 3 times a week than training at the day. They are professionals. And CH has always struggled with the narrative of how taxing 3 games a week is. Think of people who run a marathon a day for a month. When you're in peak fitness, 3 games ain't or isn't much.
Yeah, I mean, but then you've got to think about Munoz is away. Not even just Munoz, but a lot of them are away for international breaks. They're going to play over that time. So it's the amount of games as well. And injuries will factor in as well. Thomas is in the chat. Thomas, how you doing? He's obviously come for the predictions, kid. He's come for the 5-0s with Mateta 4 goals, which are like. As we move on, as we slide on there, again, I just want to say, and myself and Kieran, thanks for all the support. It's doing really well, actually, Kieran. And the main thing is we're enjoying the process. And it's good. It's good to chat to more and more liked people, mate. Right, on to the important stuff. The predictions. Sorry, Kieran, you can't win at everything. I beat you this week. Only by 5 points. Truth be told, if you look at the points, it wasn't the best. I got 4 correct and you got 3 out of 10. So we'll glaze over this portion because it wasn't the best, mate. But it was a tough week. And if you
this is going to be a bad week for me as well. Normally, I think about these games beforehand. 'Cause I think I mentioned I've got a predictor league where normally that's all due before. Whereas now I'm going to have to go off of the bat on this one. So this is going to be a bad week for me too.
Well, hey, I mean, you deserve it for being 38k. You've got to be feeling something. But yeah, the points are close. Hey, it's nice and close, and that's what's good. It makes for a good battle. One thing I will say, those people again. You said it earlier, Kieran. Listen, points are so close right now. We're 9 weeks into the season. We're a quarter of the way through, but there's so much more to play for. So if people are a little bit annoyed with the rank, you can see a lot of top content creators. Not the one sitting opposite me. He's got a poor rank. But yeah, even the top content creators they don't have the best rank. So don't worry. You've got time to get back into it. And try not let it affect. I done a little running thoughts video today, Kieran. Try not let it affect your overall mood. I mean, it still does affect mine a little bit, Kieran, but not that bad. You're carrying us, so it's not a bad thing. Right. Teams. Oh, for missed predictions. Oh, no, I didn't even put it in, Kieran. He's not put it in. Oh, my goodness. Oh,
Outrageous.
God, what's he doing? Jesus.
Shall I get them up and share screen?
Here we go. This is why Kieran's here. This is why he's here. Yeah, I don't know what's happened on there. Don't know what's happened. The graphics have been so good. I was so excited. But yeah, we're going to move into predictions now. Chat, if you want to play along with us, if you're watching it back, put into the comments as well. We'd love to see what you think the scores are going to be at the weekend. Even the goal scorers. Yeah, Thomas the other week, he was talking about Mateta hat-trick. And yeah, he got it right. So let's play along. I've got my pen, Kieran. You've got your mind. You've put them up.
So the first thing is, Shane, they're doing it to us again, right? Like,
go on.
Last week they were like, we don't need any 3 o'clock fixtures, really. We'll do a couple of them. This week, they've gone, no one's played in Europe this week, right? I know what. Let's have 5 3 o'clock fixtures and no 12:30 fixture on a Saturday.
It's a disgrace. I'm livid. Do you know
So
what it does let us do, Kieran? Do you know what it does let us do? Or it lets me do. It lets me do the stuff that I'm meant to do all weekend, condense it into a Saturday morning, and then I'm good for the weekend. Do you know what I mean? Or I can manage it for the weekend. Thank you for Thomas. Says love to show in predictions, obviously. Yes. So again, play with us. Any other questions while we're going along? We'll get into teams now, and then we'll come on to the questions. Brighton Leeds. I'll go first because you put the graphic up because you're a graphical wizard, mate. Brighton are good at home. Leeds are poor away, and they're poor in general. I think Brighton score more than 2 for the first time in a wee while. And I'm going to go 3-1 Brighton, mate.
3-1 Brighton.
Mate. I don't get it.
Leeds are a very good defence. Very good might be a stretch. By promoted team standard. Sorry, I got distracted. Brighton put out a pretty strong team against Arsenal today and looked decent at times. The concern with Brighton is like Believer just is looking pathetic at the moment.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with a 1-1 draw in this game.
I think you overvalue Leeds. But do you know what? Mac was putting here Brighton 3-0 in De Kuiper Hall. And it's funny, I had a dream. I actually had a dream last night that De Kuiper was going to Hull. And I think it's the kind of game that a defender does Hull. And if it's going to be defended for Brighton, it's going to be De Kuiper. So hopefully it is. Jackie's put 2-1. Jackie, good to see you. Geddy says 2-0. And Eddie says 2-0. I've got 3-1 Leaf score. They're leaky. Right, you're next, mate. Look at that. It's almost like we practiced this, mate. Arsenal, Burnley, Arsenal. How many goals are they going to score? I think that's the only question you need to answer, Kieran.
I'll just go with a 3-0 Arsenal. Like we've got to get 3 goals at some point, and if it's going to be against anyone, should be against Burnley. We should have about 13 corners to score from against them. So hopefully, 3 of them can go in.
Do you know what I do? I obviously do these predictions. I do a game at the weekend where we do the predictions, and it's probably if you think it's going to be 4-0, always put 3 because you've got more chance of being 3. But I think it's going to be a battering. I genuinely do, and I know Burnley will kind of try and low block it, but they're just not in the races, mate. Arsenal, they're fairly fully rotated from tonight. I think this is one where I'm hoping I own Eze and Saka, and I know you do as well. I think this is one where the attack outshines the defence. I'm going to go for 5-0. And for those that are talking about having Gyökeres moving him out, I agree. He doesn't look very good, but they're playing Burnley, and if he's going to score, I think it'll be on this. So I'm going to go 5-0. Geddy's gone 4-0. Mackham's gone 2-0. A lot of people are high in Gyökeres, mate. Jackie 3-0. One of my friends has gone, and he's an Arsenal fan as well, Ken. He's gone triple Arsenal defence. What do you think on that?
I get it, because the thing is, Saka's not worth his money at the moment, no matter what points he gets, right? Like, he's not worth that money when you compare it to Eze. So, yeah, like I get the triple Arsenal defence. I'd probably still want an attacker, whether it was Eze or Rice. I'd probably still want one of them. If I own Gyökeres, I'd be loving it. If I own Saka, I'd be loving it, though, still.
Yeah. Again, it's a bit of a 50-50 decision. I think defence is more kind of relaxed and, not as attacky manager. And I think maybe double attack is a more attacking manager. FBLD unit is in the house. He's in on Friday, mate. He's helping me with the decoder. So it's good to see him. He says Burnley 1-0 after I brought in Gabriel. Yeah, I think, what's his name? Nick Triggerlips. He didn't bring him in, Gabriel, last week. And the guy's unbelievable. He should have had a goal as well. He's just one of those players you have to bring him in. He's a bit expensive, 6.4, maybe even 6.5. So I think, listen, you just got to do it. D-Unit says, just woken up. Yeah, time to wake up, D-Unit. Good to see you. Thomas says, triple Arsenal is a bit daft before Spurs and Chelsea. Yeah, he's an Arsenal fan. So, I'd say he's a bit daft, but, Kieran's smashing it, so I can't really say that. Right, on to the next one. Fulham, Wolves. Wolves almost came back tonight, Kieran. I don't know if you've seen the scores, but it was 4-3 to Wolves. And D-Wolf scored 2 goals. The actual D-Wolf. Listen, Wolves are still poor. Fulham aren't that much better, but they're at home, they're solid, they're organised well. I'm kind of flipping between 2-0 and 2-1. I'm going to go 2-1. I think, Strand Larsen is fairly quality. I'll go for a 2-1 Fulham. Right. Oh, we missed one. No, that's fine. We'll come back to it. We missed the Palace game.
I'm going to go with a 0-0 in that game.
A 0-0. A little undesi. Cool, right. We'll move straight on to Palace. On you first, mate. 3-0 winners tonight at Anfield. They've got Brentford at home. They don't think, they're getting that tired yet. Do you think they win at the weekend?
I think this could be similar to the Bournemouth game in some aspects.
Yep.
Which isn't great as someone with double Palace defence. But I can see it being a pretty open game. And Brentford being able to exploit Brighton. And I think Palace. And I think where you can get at Palace is where they might be a bit more fatigued is maybe from set pieces where they are, you could be forgiven for resting for a few minutes when the ball goes out of play. Not a few minutes, but like a few seconds. And I don't think you can do that against a team like Brentford. So I can see it being a relatively high-scoring game. I'm going to throw out a 3-2 for that one to Palace.
Yeah, do you know what? It's funny. I think you're banging on money with that. CH has gone. CH has gone 3-2. Eddie's gone 3-2. Sandry's gone 3-1. Com's gone. That's a film game. Mackham's gone 4-1, and Thomas has gone 4-2. But yeah, you're right. Very, very quick in transition, Brentford, didn't they? And actually, that might fall into the hands, especially away from home at Palace. That might help. What did you go for there? Sorry, I'll write it down.
3-2.
3-2. Actually, I've not done mine, so I could just copy. No, do you know what? I'm going to go for a draw. I am going to go for a draw. Am I going to go for a 3-3? That would be outrageous. I'm going to go for a Desi. I'm going to go for a little 2-2, mate. I think it'll be 2-2. I think Palace will be a wee bit tired. On to the next one. Forest United. Now, this is a difficult one. Forest, they beat Porto midweek. That was Porto's first loss this season. Good team. United are, completely Jekyll and Hyde away and at home. I'm in a pickle, but I think Forest score. It's one of those games where probably it's 1-1 and you know what happens and you know who pops up to get an assist and then get 18 billion bonus points. So I'm actually going to go. I think it'll be 2-1 United, mate. Gritting my teeth, but I think it will.
Yeah, I think it's a United win as well. I think I'll probably go. I don't know. I still struggle to see how Forest score a goal, so I'm going to go 2-0 to United.
So you just put 2-0 as well. So's Macom. So has Colm. Eddie's gone 3-1. Yeah, 2-0. Right, it's on you. Spurs, Chelsea. Little London derby. By the way, that's some Saturday. I know there's no early game, but that is some Saturday.
But that's why one of these games should have been early from the 3 o'clock, right? Like Palace Brentford, for example.
Yeah, that would have been good. What do you think, Spurs Chelsea? Obviously,
Again, I think pretty open game from both teams. The fact that Spurs aren't as good at home as they are away from home. The fact that Chelsea lost to Sunderland and need to redeem themselves. I think it's a game that neither team loses. So I think this is my designated Desmond of the week with my 2-2.
Oh, a little Desi. You do like a good little Desi on the show, mate. I think it's going to be tight. I think it's going to be 1-1. I think it'll be a draw as well, but I think it'll be 1-1. Tottenham got beat tonight actually against Newcastle. They had a pretty full strength side out. So did Newcastle, but Thomas has put 3-3. Hey, he's had them right before, mate. That could be the 3-3. And CH, yeah, I think most people are going for a draw, either at 0-0 or 1-1. Okay, on me then, Liverpool Villa. What do I do? I don't know what to do, chat. Help me out. Liverpool at home, but they were home tonight.
Before we skip past Chelsea again for a second, Liam Delap came on in the 61st minute, got booked in the 79th minute, and got sent off in the 86th minute.
So is he banned for the weekend? He will be, right?
Yeah.
Carry over. Yeah, he will be. Yeah.
25 minutes back and he got himself banned.
I mean, that's good for Guay. I've got Guay. Do I play him? Against Spurs, it's still difficult, so I probably don't. But if you need to, it's an option, isn't it? Yeah, that's not what you need from the lap, really, is it?
It makes Enzo good for another week, right? Because if the lap comes back and Pedro drops into the 10, then Enzo becomes less attractive, and then Cole Palmer will be back as well.
Yeah, for me, Chelsea have got some good fixtures up, but I think I'm just going to hold off on this week. It wouldn't surprise me if Spurs scored. I just want another week at Chelsea, so I'm just going to wait on them. Liverpool
Shane, this might influence your decision on the Villa game, but Thomas has gone in early, so try not to let it influence you too much.
Ekitike hat-trick, Digne red card. I actually hope this comes in, because he said Mateta hat-trick the other day, and it did come in. Do you know what? I genuinely don't know what to think. Villa had a bounce back against City. They beat them at home. They played well. Liverpool are just not... Is that 6 defeats in a row?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. 6 defeats in a row in all competitions. So it's not going well. They need a reaction. There's going to be a lot of pressure.
No, actually, they won the Champions League game, didn't they?
I don't know. They did, yeah. So, I mean, still, they'll be under pressure. It might fall into kind of Emery's hands. I think it'll be fairly close. Do I see them winning? Do you know what I do? I go 2-1 Liverpool. And I know people will be like, what makes you think they're winning? They've been playing poor. I know. I just think at home, they're very strong. They will get enough across the line again.
I think, look, I'll say it again, right? 4 games ago, Villa were winless and Liverpool hadn't lost. And now Villa have won every game in the Prem and Liverpool have lost every game. So it does feel written for this to be the moment where it flips back again almost.
Yep.
But maybe not. Maybe Villa can nick something. I think Liverpool will be the better team.
Yep.
But I think Liverpool could also overcommit at some stages.
Yes,
I'm throwing out another Desmond. I'm going to go with 2-2 again.
2-2. Gary says Villa have won 5 in a row in the Prem. Chelsea love playing with 10. Yeah, well, we talked about it today, actually, Kieran. We talked about the fact that, they're a young team and their discipline's really, really poor. Yeah,
Well, it hardly helps when your manager gets sent off as well. It's hardly the pinnacle of giving a good example.
I mean, that was harsh. It was a last minute win. Yeah, that's a bit harsh. What did you go there?
No,
Sorry, for
that
Villa?
yeah. 2-2.
2-2. Yeah. No, another Desmond shock for Kieran. Right, it's on you next, and West Ham Newcastle again. I think this is a case of how many?
Is this this is a case of? To your point, right? You've got 7-foot tall Vutamada against a West Ham team who can't defend for their lives, and Vutamada capable of scoring off of any part of his body, whether he means it or not. Which just seems like if you add him, Dan Burn, Shah, and Tior, take your pick. One or two of them is going to get a goal in this game. It just feels like. I think this could be a battering by Newcastle. I'm gonna go in there and say 4-1 to Newcastle.
4-1 to Newcastle. Okay, that's not far off Colm. He's gone 3-1. Sandro's gone 3-0. Yeah, and people might think, Nuno, he's a good manager. He is a good manager. We both agree on that, and he will turn stuff around there. I don't know if he has the players to do it fast enough to stay in the league. I'm not quite sure. There's something that concerned me. I wrote down the notes the other day, Kieran, is I watched that game live. Obviously, that was on Friday. And see, even before the players started playing, before the whistle, Nuno looked nervous. He honestly looked panicked. I don't think I've seen him like that at Forest. And then after 20 minutes, they capitulated. He was shaking his head, and it wasn't looking good. Listen, okay, they got a goal back, and they kind of steadied the ship. But I think he has to get his team ready and set first. I think he made 3 or 4 subs, and he was more solid after that than at the start. So if he can get that at the start, at least he'll keep it close for a game, and they'll be in contention for the points. But in the meantime, on this game, mate, listen, Newcastle are strong. West Ham, the amount of pressure at home is off the scale. I think this is big, mate. It's either 4 or 5. Do you know what? I'm going to go 5. I'm going to go 5. Big D unit, FPL D unit says Big Dan burnt header. Yep, Eddie's gone 4-0. Funnily enough, though, I was watching Voltamadi, and he's doing like the Kane role. He's dropping very deep, and he's letting the wingers push up and through him. Murphy had a great one-on-one that Gordon put him through. So if I was going to look at bringing someone in, I don't think I would really bring Voltamadi in. But then again, you've got to offset it with corners. They can't defend corners, and the guy's about 18 foot tall. So I'm going to go 5 now. Newcastle. Second last game, mate. City Bournemouth. It's on me first, right? Isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
City struggled again tonight. Conceded again tonight. I've been saying this all season. Their backline is pretty poor, and it's why they won't win the Prem. It's a tough game. Bournemouth are good away. Got a good manager. Oh, it's tough. I think this is quite low scoring. It's either going to be 1-0 or 1-1. Oh, I don't know. I go. Do you know what? I'm going to go 2-1. Haaland's back in. He smashes it up. 2-1 City.
Yeah, I'm also adding in the fact that Marmoush and Cherky both got good starts and returns today, which I think is massive for City. I like Bournemouth. The concern is, right, that Semenyo thrived in the first game of the season away to Liverpool by hitting them on the counter. And there's going to be opportunities to hit City on the counter for Bournemouth as well, playing away from home. But my concern is Krupi Jr. kind of prohibits Semenyo's counter prowess. And I don't think Krupi Jr. is... He loves long-range shots, right? And he is good at them.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's what you'd want to do against City. Donnarumma is a very good shot stopper. 100%. So I think that's where their limitations are going to be. I do think City win similar to you. I'm going to go with 3-1 to City.
You've gone 3-1. Eddie's gone 2-1. Colm's gone 2-1. I think it'd be close. One on Krupa Jr. Listen, it was a great long shot. I I don't know if he's got the. I don't know if he's the right size in terms of, what he's quite nimbly. Do you know what I mean? He's quite fast. But against City the weekend, I think big centre backs Diaz or Gavardio, whoever he has in there, I think will shut him out. Yeah. So what did you go for? Sorry, 2-3-1.
3-1, yeah. And
Winner
then
of the final?
Sunderland Everton.
Oh, that's a huge game.
Yeah, I think Sunderland are just going to be solid in these kind of home games and just smart defensively. I think this is like your low scoring game again. Like it could be a 0-0 or a 1-0 or a 2-0 either way. But I'm going to biasly go. Like I've been genuinely considering bringing in Granit Xhaka for Sunderland's fixture run because I think this is a game where he gets.
Not a bad show.
I think it's a game he definitely gets DEFCON. So I think he's got like a 4-point floor, maybe 3 with a yellow card. But it also wouldn't surprise me to see him getting an attacking return in a game like this against Everton. It just feels like a Granit Xhaka type fixture to kind of pop up with a goal. So, yeah, I'm going to go with 2-0 Sunderland.
2-0 Sunderland, okay. Ooh, 2-0 Sunderland. Everton did score against Tottenham. There's not many games where they go 2 without scoring a bit more attacking this season. Sunderland at home, they've been great, and we need to start taking them into consideration because they've been playing fantastic. Yeah, I think it'll be quite a tight affair. I think Sunderland do score though. Yeah, I'm going to go 2-0. I'm going to go 2-0. Captain Ahmed Abdallah. What a name, by the way. Hello, bros. What about triple Captain Ballard? I'm going to say no. What's your thoughts, Kieran?
I'm going to say no as well. And look, let's run through some of the questions because I'm going to have to shoot after our team. So let's go through some of the questions now, I think, and add some more in.
Sounds good.
Eleni's saying, is it wise to replace Semenyo with Mbumo in game week 10? Well, look, Shane, you've already got rid of Semenyo. And, what's your thoughts on Mbumo? Is he someone you'd be looking to bring in?
He is. Do you know what? Again, sometimes we're slow, sometimes we're fast on players, and the data's been loving in Buemo for a while, so it probably wasn't a big shock that he did haul this weekend. He was due one. I quite like it. It's just down to fixtures, isn't it? United have got Forest, Tottenham, and Everton, and Bournemouth have got City, Villa, West Ham, Sunderland, Everton. So again, it depends on your team, but I think for the short term, for the next two, I think it's a good move. Yeah, I think it's a good move.
Yeah, and what I say is like FPL Marcelo is someone who's great again to have a look at his models that he's done like of his own data. Do put some pretty interesting point predictions in there that are good to follow along with. So I say check him out. Mbumo's definitely part of the reason why I'm considering selling Gakpo and or Fernando as options in the coming weeks is I don't mind moving off of Bruno Fernandes into Mbumo, but I don't want to do it as a straight swap. So I wouldn't mind moving off of him to someone else and then moving over to Mbumo later on. I think it's a good fixture, this one, for Mbumo as well. So, yeah, decent shout. Eddie Casey said, what do you think of the team? Raya, Gabriel, Mukiele, Tarkovsky, Fernandes, Semenyo, Sarr, Enzo, Mateta, Haaland, Gokares, and
King Richards.
Dubravka, Senesi, Richards, King. So defender-wise, Gabriel, Mukiele, Tarkovsky, Senesi, Richards. Yeah, you probably wanted... In an ideal world, you'd want Munoz over someone in there, whether that's Tarkovsky.
Yeah.
Because, you've got Keane as that cheaper option and similar point returns there. Bruno's, if you like him, keep hold of him. Enzo is probably good for another couple of weeks. Gokares is still good for these weeks. So, yeah, overall, I'd say it's a pretty decent team for this week.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. And remember, some of the teams don't look that good. Sometimes back. Do you know what I mean? So you have to think ahead. You don't want to hokey in and out. Who's next?
Geddy was just saying Rodon is bench fodder that you can just sit on your bench at 4 mil, which I'd agree with.
Yeah.
Eddie has then fired out, used the 2 transfers, Reindos and Pedro out, Mateta and Sarr in. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are. I think my segment earlier and the whole Palace thing. I don't think I would double up.
I
Mateta.
think you can for like these three fixtures coming up, right? Like I think these three are, if you're going to do it, you just go for it now, but be prepared to get rid of them. Don't like once they
Yeah,
get you the points, then don't hold on to them and go, they got me points. Like accept that you got them in for a short fixture run, and then probably sack off Mateta and Sarr at his price point is just decent in general.
yeah, and obviously more people being a bandwagon because he scored tonight. Reinders, I agree, mate. He's become a problem. I think with Marmoush scoring tonight and Cheika getting assist, I think that's the end. It's the end for him. But no, it's good.
Sandra's free hit over to you, Shane.
I'm using a free hit this week, and my team is. It's good you still got it. I've already used mine. Pope, Munoz, Gabriel, Calafiore, Saka, Fernandez, Minta, Ndai, Mateta, Haaland, Wilfamadi. I like that, mate. That's a good. I don't know what you think, Kieran. I do like that. I like the Brighton inclusion. I do want someone. I'm a bit skeptical on Minta because his ceiling's never that high. It's always just under double digits. But hey, points are points. The Wilfamadi is good. I like the back line.
I'd be tempted to get rid of Ndai and have a Newcastle defender in my starting 11.
Or what about Ndai for Gordon?
Nah.
No?
I'd rather just attack these set pieces. On a free hit, I'd rather just go for the centre back haul.
Good point,
And
especially
then
against
just
West Ham.
take your pick, whether you want Dan Burn or Shah or Tior.
Well, Shaw should start because Botman, I think, has got a concussion. So
Shah scored today as well. So
it's written in the
recency
stars.
bias.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so it looks good,
this one we can kind of skip by. Not in my name. He's not. Just give him time.
He doesn't look the best, though, Kieran. I know you're Arsenal fan. He doesn't.
But
look
no. He's never been the most aesthetically pleasing. Like, he never was for Sporting either, right? What he does is he drags players out of position and creates spaces for other players. And when Arteta signed him, he said to him, "You need to be comfortable going 6, 7, 8 games without scoring, because we've got many ways of scoring goals." So he's doing the right job, right? Arsenal are. It's mad. Arsenal are top of the Premier League, top of the Champions League, and getting criticised because Gyökeres hasn't started scoring yet. Like, imagine if he was scoring, then what would we be saying? So, I mean,
if he's going to score against someone, Kieran, it's probably going to be about Burnley, isn't it? So,
well, that's it. He smashed it against Leeds. He's got a good opportunity now. The longer he goes without scoring, the more likely he is to take the next penalty as well. That's obviously, definitely triple captain Ballard, captain Ahmed, because it'd be funny if it comes through. Why is Sunderland always shown as a green box? Well, I would recommend tuning into that. I think there's a show that happens every week around this, Shane. Do you happen to know anything about it?
I do know. This week joining me, actually, on that said show, is D Unit. He's in the chat as well. And this is a thing that brought up on D Unit's thread. He was chatting about it the other day with a lot of his guys and girls on X. And yeah, they've not updated the FDR decoder. The fixture ticker. So it's light green for Sunderland, and they're anything but a light green fixture. So it's definitely got value in finding these opportunities that we can go against the perceived, average pick of everybody. So yeah, Friday morning, tune in, and we'll go through that. Not my name. We will go through that. What else we got going?
And the final one is. Oh no, hang on, I had another one before this. Hang on.
Again, why is it...
Eddie, what do you think of the team? Another team one, Raya, Gabriel, Mukiele, Tarkovsky. This is the same question again, isn't it? I think.
I think
this is the one I did Mateta and Sarr in. Yep, cool. We will start your question, so that's fine. Mackham, need to end Sanchez pain. Should I get Raya for a -4? Or will he outperform him for the 5-week window? Raya's one where he's just like 6 or 2 points. Right? He's just not going to get the save points, whereas someone like a Verbruggen could be a bit more attractive at this stage of the season.
I mean, the only thing for me is fixtures. I'm looking at fixtures, mate, and they've got Tottenham, then Wolves and Burnley back to back. So I'd probably see those 3 out and then use a transfer. I don't think I would take a -4. I mean, you could get it in one game, especially Raya, but I'd probably wait. I would probably just give it another few weeks.
No, exactly. Then we've got Captain Ahmed. What about my squad? Dubravka, Cash, Truffert, King, Salah and Bumo, Saka, Semenyo, Haaland, Fultamada, Krupi. Yeah, I think, look, if you're going to go 2 strikers, you then want that cheap third striker. 3-4-3 formation this week.
Yep.
All look good. Like Truffert could haul one of these weeks. So yeah, I like it. And then D Unit has said his best pick on Wildcard 6 was Mbuma, I imagine.
It was, mate. Yeah, he was big on him. So big up D Unit. He was one of us to get him in.
Nice. Well, look, let's carry on then, Shane. And I think up next is
teams.
Your team. We'll do your team first.
Oh, save the best to last for you then. I like it. So my lineup then is Vicario and Porro double up currently. It's Chelsea, so I'm not sure. I've got a Palace backline double up as well. I've got Munoz and Lacroix. Although Lacroix might go. He might go. Then I've got Gabriel in the back line. Obviously, he's going nowhere. Midfield, it looks good, mate. Saka, Eze, Gakpo, Gordon, Reinders. He will move out. He will. He is coming in for someone. I'm not sure yet, but he's going to move out. And then Haaland up top. And then on the bench, I've got Petrovic, Senesi, Richarlison, and Mark Guay. I've got 2 free transfers, mate. I think I might use them both. I'm not sure. At least one. So I think Reinders will come out. Not sure who's going to go in yet. Richarlison, I need to drop that value. It's not getting used. So I'll swap him for somebody. I've got Mark Guay. He's going to play just now. So I'll probably drop him down to a really, really cheap. Or I might go Thiago. Just drop, it's about the same, but at least I could then play him. What do you think? It's one that I'm kind of just keeping afloat for this week. And I'm trying to save some transfers for the next few weeks. Do you know what I mean? For the big fixture turns. He's speechless. Kieran's speechless. Can't hear him. He's turned himself off. That's how good this team is. He doesn't want to speak on it.
Didn't even want to speak. I was actually complimenting it. I was saying, no, it's pretty decent, and those moves make sense. I think one of those things is like similar to what you said. Like patience is key. I'm not fussed about price rises this season because I don't think you need to spend your money really. So I'd rather keep thinking about things and wait till Saturday and then make a decision. There's been times where when I find myself going back and forth and always aiming up on the same thing, then I will lock that in sometimes during a week where I'll go, cool, no, I don't want to be influenced now. I've had enough information to make my decision. But there's other times where like I'm just going to be zoned out until Saturday. So yeah, I think you've got a pretty decent team for this week.
Oh, merci. Right, on to what everybody came here for. Top content creator team. Where did you go past it? There it is. I thought I'd put you first as well.
I must have skipped by accident.
Talk us through your team for game.
So similar to yourself. So like goalkeeper wise is pretty shocking this week between Petrovic and Dubravka. I'll probably go Petrovic because I think Arsenal probably can score more goals. Back four of Lacroix and Munoz. So similar, well, same as you and Gabriel, and then Mukiele for this Everton game. So getting his 3rd start in a row for me could be all or nothing for him. But just fancy it more than playing Senesi against Man City. The midfielders that will definitely be in my team are Saka and Eze, and Haaland will definitely be playing. I've then got Gakpo, Semenyo, and Bruno. Now, we've got Guru, Fulkrug on the bench as the other 2 that I've not named. My thinking, so I've still got wildcard in hand, I've still got bench boost, and I've only now just started to think about when I might want to use those chips. And one scenario is bench boosting in game week 17 and then wild carding out of it in game week 18, which Palace might have a double now that they've beaten Liverpool as well. So that's something to monitor. The other option is doing it, I think, around 15, 16 type of area. But what I've realised when I was then playing around on FPL team is I have quite a few different transfers before the AFCON transfers come in and top me up again. So I might as well use transfers and attack fixtures in the short term, which is a good position to be in when I've got a pretty decent rank. So I am missing a Palace attacker from this. And based on what I was saying in the discomfort zone, I'm not going to go to Mateta. I do like Sarr as an option. One player, though, that is top of my priority list for this week, and I might get rid of him next week, but it is Voltemada. So with 2 free transfers, I definitely want Voltemada in for Fulkrug. So I need to get money to fund that.
Okay.
So Gakpo or Bruno could make way. And if it's Gakpo who goes, then it would have to be Granit Xhaka who comes in. As I mentioned, I like his next 2 or 3 fixtures. He rotates well in my team. And until I then downgrade Voltemada, I can then put the money back into midfield. The other option is Bruno going out. Again, it could be for Xhaka, or that could be for Ismail Assar. And that's the one that I'm tending to lean towards, of doing Bruno and Fulkrug out for Sarr and for Voltemada, because then when I then do bring a United asset back in, it can be Mbumo. And I've then still got Gakpo for his game week 12 onwards run. So that would mean that my team would be playing a 4-4-2 this week with Lacroix, Gabriel, Mukiele, Munoz, Saka, Ezo, Gakpo, Sarr, Haaland, and Voltemada, bench and Semenyo first on the bench, which a little bit worried about doing that. But again, if it was Evan Nilsson playing alongside him, then I'd probably want to start Semenyo. But with Krupi Jr., I think I'm okay benching him this week.
I like it. I don't know about the. I'm thinking about. It's good, and like I'm saying about, we're on the crest of this wave. People are thinking about doing things that we're already on, or players we're on, and we're looking to move off, which is good. It makes for a good season. I agree with you on the Gakpo. I think I want to take him out soon. The Bruno though, I don't think so, mate. He's frustrating, and the reason I took him out is because he got like 3 points, 2 points, 3 points, 10, 3 points, 2 points, 10. You know, that will improve. Have you got enough if you just take Gakpo out instead of Bruno? Like, still give you enough?
Not for Sarr. No.
Not for Sarr.
And I think there's a massive difference in Sarr and Voltemada compared to Voltemada and Xhaka.
Yeah. I mean, the Semenyo, again, it was good that I'm validated because I'm fairly, a wee bit lucky that it happened. But yeah, you're right with Krupi playing Semenyo, and Kluivert's back as well, so he's taking a little bit of shine off Kluivert as well. So
and I also got
I
need to keep Semenyo because I got him game week 1, so there's so much money invested in him. I'm not saying I keep him forever, but as in there's no point in him being the make weight. So look, still things I'll be thinking about through this week, but team's just looking decent moving forward. Again, Marcelo responded to me with how my team looks over the next 5 game weeks and who I should start and sit. And yeah, it looks good. I think if I did nothing, we're looking at him predicting like 320 points over the next 5 game weeks, which I'd take all day long.
Just a little bit off topic, but Palace have just drawn Arsenal in the Cup. So that's another non-rest that Palace are going to get now. So this whole squad thing might be coming to fruition. I know it's a little bit down the lane, but still, it's not going to help their squad. It sets for a good game. It does. I think those moves look good, mate. What about Mark Guay? Would you not play Mark Guay this weekend, maybe? Drop some menu out?
There's no way I'm going triple Palace attack. That's mental.
That's
triple
insane.
Palace defence. Right, I'm going to have to go in a second. Are there any more questions?
I think there's a few just put up there. We want to get last few and then we'll go. While we're just finishing off, guys and girls team, you can just like and subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. It really helps us out. Fantastic show again tonight. Really enjoyed it. Have you got any more in the chat? I'm pretty sure there was a few in the chat that you can find.
I think there was just one with Thomas saying, would you go Donnarumma or Raya for the next while, or would you get a cheapie like Roofs? I wouldn't necessarily drop down to Roofs because, Sunderland did have one of the best fixture runs to start the season, but I don't think I'd be spending 6 million on a goalkeeper either. So I'd be picking someone in the middle.
Yeah, I'd go someone kind of like that 5 mark. And then last one is I'd love Munoz. Only way to get him in is a -8. Richards and Tarkowski out. Wait till next week and do a -4. Gokares out to Walter Maddy. And Richards to Munoz. We had a look at Eddie's team earlier, didn't we, Kieran? And I think it's all right. I think his team.
Oh no, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, the team was fine. Yeah, no, there's no point. No way would you be taking a -8 to get Munoz in. That doesn't make sense. So it's good.
And then very, very final one. Sandri says, so double up on Pope and Shar. Good idea. I think it's a good idea. It's against West Ham. It should pay off. It should pay off pretty well, pretty big. Listen, Kieran, again, thank you very much tonight. Hey, we're hearing what the top content creator, what moves he makes. So, no, it's good. Another great show. Everyone that's come along, we were competing with Black Box for about the first hour. So it was good that we had more than, one people to come. So again, thanks very much for your support. Thanks for your support over the last 2 months. Has been absolutely fantastic. Enjoyed it. Kieran, I'll give you the last little word, mate.
Bye.
See you all this week. Have a great week. Bye bye.